The land had entered a season of forgetting. After the passing of those who had known conquest and covenant firsthand, memory thinned, and the weight of what had been commanded no longer pressed upon the heart of the people. The statutes were still spoken, yet they no longer shaped the steps of daily life. What had once been guarded with vigilance became familiar enough to neglect. And so, as it had happened before, the people of Israel again did what was evil in the sight of the Lord. The ancient record does not linger on every act, but it names the result with clarity. The hand of protection was withdrawn. Strength rose against them from beyond the Jordan. Eglon, king of Moab, grew powerful during those days, not merely through ambition or fortune, but because the Lord strengthened him against Israel, as written. The Lord strengthened Eglon, king of Moab, against Israel, because they had done what was evil in the sight of the Lord. Judges 3:12. Moab did not stand alone. The Ammonites and the Amalekites joined themselves to him, forming a cord of hostility that crossed the river and struck deep into the land. The city of palms, Jericho, once shattered by obedience and faith, fell again not by walls collapsing, but by submission. What had been reclaimed at great cost was now held by another king. 18 years passed beneath that burden. Tribute was demanded regularly, and Israel obeyed, not because their hands were bound, but because their spirit had been worn thin. Grain from their fields fed a foreign throne. Livestock bred under the sun, only to be counted for another ruler. Roads that once carried the songs of pilgrimage now bore the quiet footsteps of obligation. Children were born who knew Moabite authority as the order of the world, and elders remembered freedom as something distant, like a story recited more than lived. Yet oppression does not silence longing forever. Slowly a cry rose again from the land, not organized at first, not shouted, but carried in the hidden places of the heart. It gathered strength as the years dragged on, until at last the people cried out to the Lord for deliverance. The pattern was old, but the response remained faithful. The Lord did not answer with thunder or fire. He prepared a deliverer in obscurity, shaping him long before his name would be spoken aloud. From the tribe of Benjamin came Ehud, the son of Jerah. Benjamin was known among the tribes for fierce men, skilled with the sling and quick in battle, yet Ehud bore a mark that set him apart. He was restrained in his right hand, he was left-handed, as the text carefully notes, Judges 3:15. This trait marked him as different, perhaps even limited in the eyes of others. Yet the Lord often chose what seemed diminished to overturn what appeared secure. Ehud did not rise as a warrior gathering followers, nor did he speak loudly of revolt. His path unfolded quietly. When the time came to send tribute to Eglon, king of Moab, Ehud was chosen to carry it. The selection seemed practical. A man with no reputation for aggression would not provoke suspicion, yet beneath his garments, resolve had already taken form. Before setting out, Ehud made for himself a sword. It was not long like the weapons of open battle, but short and double-edged, a cubit in length. It was a blade meant for close space and decisive action. He bound it beneath his clothing upon his right thigh, a place guards would not search, for the left hand was expected to reach across the body, not downward on the right. This was not chance, but understanding, the patient alignment of preparation with opportunity, Judges 3:16. The journey eastward followed familiar paths. The Jordan lay behind them as they approached the land of Moab, carrying gifts meant to affirm submission. The procession reached the presence of Eglon, who received them from his seat of authority. The king was exceedingly fat, the record notes, without restraint, Judges 3:17. His body bore the mark of indulgence and unchallenged rule, a living sign of excess grown comfortable. Tribute was laid before him, and the symbols of dominance were renewed. When the offering was complete, Ehud dismissed those who had come with him, sending them back toward the carved stones near Gilgal. They departed, relieved to leave the presence of Moab's ruler behind. Ehud alone turned back. His steps retraced the path briefly, then shifted with intention. He returned to the king, not as a bearer of tribute, but as a messenger of judgment. Standing once more before Eglon, Ehud spoke carefully. "I have a secret message for you, O king." Judges 3:19. The words stirred curiosity rather than alarm. Secrets flattered power, and Eglon commanded silence, dismissing all who stood around him. The attendants withdrew, leaving the king alone with the messenger from a subdued people. The chamber above was quiet, built for comfort, its doors closed against intrusion. Ehud approached and spoke again, his voice steady. "I have a message from God for you," Judges 3:20. Whether Eglon rose from reverence or curiosity, the moment created an opening that would not return. In that narrow space between word and response, years of oppression converged. Ehud reached with his left hand to his right thigh and drew the sword. The movement defied every expectation learned by guards and kings alike. The blade struck, and it went in with such force that the handle followed after, swallowed by flesh. The fat closed over the blade, and it was not drawn out again. Judges 3:21-22. The judgment was swift, contained within the stillness of the chamber. No cry went forth to summon help. The act was complete. Ehud withdrew, leaving the blade where it fell. He closed the doors of the upper chamber and locked them, sealing the moment in silence. Then he departed through the porch and went on his way. Judges 3:23. The corridors did not echo with alarm. The palace remained unaware. Time itself became an ally. The servants of Eglon came to attend their lord and found the doors locked. Assuming privacy, they waited. Minutes stretched into uneasy delay. When concern overcame protocol, they unlocked the doors and entered. There they found their king, fallen dead upon the floor. Judges 3:24-25. Confusion spread, but by then the deliverer was far beyond reach. Ehud moved swiftly toward the hill country of Ephraim, passing through terrain shaped by long familiarity. When he reached the heights, he sounded the trumpet. The sound carried across valleys and ridges, calling the tribes to attention. Men gathered, drawn by urgency and hope. Ehud stood before them, not as a claimant to power, but as a witness to what had already been done. "Follow after me," he said, "for the Lord has given your enemies the Moabites into your hand." Judges 3:28. The words were not future promise, but present reality. The source of Moab's strength lay dead, and the moment demanded action. They went down after him and seized the fords of the Jordan against Moab. The river that had once opened for Israel now closed against their enemy. No one was allowed to cross. Cut off and leaderless, the Moabite forces fell. About 10,000 men, all strong and able, were struck down, and not one escaped. Judges 3:29. The oppression that had endured 18 years ended in a single day of decisive turning. Moab was subdued under the hand of Israel. The land rested again, and the rest endured for 80 years. Judges 3:30. Fields were reclaimed without fear. Paths once shadowed by tribute carriers echoed with ordinary life. Children grew into age without knowing the weight of foreign rule, and the sound of the trumpet faded, but its echo remained in memory. Ehud himself receded from the record. His task was complete. He did not establish a dynasty, nor did he linger in prominence. His life stands as a brief but pivotal crossing point where obedience met opportunity. The narrative preserves him not through speeches or reign, but through a single act carried out in faith and resolve. The story of Ehud remained among the people as a reminder shaped by contrast. Deliverance did not always arrive through visible strength or gathered armies. Sometimes it came through what others overlooked. Restrained right hand became the means by which a hidden blade struck true. Silence proved more powerful than force, and judgment arrived not in open conflict, but behind closed doors. As the years of rest unfolded, the pattern lingered beneath the surface. Memory, if not guarded, would fade again. The land was quiet, but the lesson remained, waiting for each generation to decide whether it would remember the source of its freedom or repeat the cycle of forgetting. The unexpected hand had acted once. Whether it would be needed again lay not in strength or cunning, but in faithfulness. As the years of rest unfolded, the memory of Moab's fall would have been spoken around fires and during harvest, not with triumphal shouting, but with sober understanding. Power can swell unseen, and judgment can arrive quietly. What appears weak may be chosen, and what seems secure may already be falling. The land rested, but the lesson remained, waiting for the next generation to remember or to forget. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell. More Bible figures await.